Namaste and welcome. Excuse the dress, we got invited to a concert this evening, and so that's why I'm decked out in the attire today. But I wanted to do a video, and I've been thinking about doing this video for some time, and there has been interest by others in the content of this video. And the video is going to be on when is Advaita a hindrance. And Advaita is a hindrance when one is in the mind of duality. And one is trying to use Advaita as an affirmation. I'm already that and there's nothing to get. And one can unfortunately then use it to justify negative behavior, to justify negative actions, to justify whatever they're doing in ego. And I've heard people, even go as far to say, well, if I'm an asshole, it's okay because God made me an asshole and it's your karma to have to deal with an asshole, okay? Well, no, that's not the way that it works. If you're in the mind of duality, then, and you're in that doership phase, then one is going to have karma that comes out of that. And whether that karma is recognized in this lifetime or not is neither here nor there, because it will come. And one is not doing any favors to oneself by being in the Advaita lingo, when it's not that state of consciousness. You might be able to, for a time, puff up the ego and say I'm already that, and say that I don't have to do anything, that doing practices or anything is all hogwash, and it's already there. Well, yes, it is already there. That is true on one hand. But when it's covered over by blinders, and you don't know the way to get the blinders off, then there is more to do. And so once again, you're not doing any benefit to yourself by clinging to Advaita texts as a philosophical stance. Advaita texts are there to show that there is another state of consciousness, that there is something more, and this is why one should remain on the path, that one should continue to go forward, because this is the end result. This is where one is, and when all falls away, yes, it's apparent, it's always been there. But it wasn't apparent when one was in the mind of duality. Then it's not apparent whatsoever. And when one is in the mind of duality, then yes, realms are real, gods are real. The dualistic realm appears to be quite real. And so one has to come in with honesty about that. So all of these things are just pointing to different states of consciousness. And when all falls away, and then one reads the non-dual texts, then it's not something that one is trying to imagine, or a concept that one is trying to cling to, or something that one is trying to intellectually get. It's the reality. It's all that remains. Then, yes, there's nothing to get, there's nowhere to go. It's always been there. The one without a second. Then that's the living reality. And it's only for that one that can say, really, truly, there's nowhere to get in and nowhere to go, because it's always been there. But please, 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 understand that those texts are there to be a verification when all falls away. And they're there to be a pointing as to what lies ahead. So I want to see those that are interested and serious about truth, what is God, what is truth, and wish to be off the wheel of karma, that they don't get stuck in the Advaita police realm of just trying to speak in Advaita speak. And the reason that people in Advaita speak like that, this one versus I, because at that point, that's the reality. It's not that they're trying to be puffed up. It's not that they're trying to project that there's something that they're not. That's the reality, because there is no one there when you're looking within. That person that was there and all of that life history is gone. It's just vanished. It's finished. It's over. And so it's very natural at that point to say this one rather than I. And then because people look at you and they want to judge that and they want to, project all manner of things, one has to then at that point relearn how to speak with words of duality in order to fit into society. But that's not the living reality for that one. It's just truly not. So let Advaita texts be read and understood that this is where one is headed towards. And this is what may remain. And it's another state of consciousness. But please don't try to make it an affirmation, a philosophical stance for the mind of duality, because it simply doesn't work. It just simply doesn't. And when one is saying that there's nowhere to go and nothing to get, that I'm already that, and you're in the mind of suffering, then there's no hope to ever get out of that. And you may try to convince yourself of it for a time, that you're not suffering. But eventually, you have to come to the point of understanding, yes, I am suffering. And one has to look deeper into that and be willing to encounter it, to go beyond it. You can't continue to run away from it using Advaita speak. It's not going to work. So namaste, thank you. And I hope this benefits some. And I hope it doesn't push too many buttons for others. But if it does, then again, all that can be said is sit with it and see what's coming up. And what is this knee-jerk reaction to? And what is deeper than that? So namaste and thank you.